r/AskReddit, people who jog in the street when a sidewalk is available, why? I used to walk or jog at night through neighborhoods. Little to no traffic or other people. I live in Texas, and sidewalks in every city have a tendency to just disappear. Unless you're in front of a business or residence, it's even odds whether the sidewalk continues. Well, one time I was jogging on sidewalks that were very uneven due to tree roots. Legally, people in my town are required to fix these issues. Realistically, many people don't have the dollar. Anyway, I tripped and broke my front teeth off. And that is why I will sometimes run in the street, albeit very unbusy residential side streets. Oh, right, and many neighborhoods in my city don't even have sidewalks. I sprained my ankle twice in a year with like at least 3 to 5 months of recovery in between cause of uneven pavement, and everyone is on a dode walk. Dogs. Dog owners who say he just wants to play. Side-by-side strollers. People backing out of their driveway only looking for cars. Kids on bikes. Cars blocking sidewalks. Uneven surface. And trash cans, and branches, and lawn bags, and odd wires and half-attached cables. LOL, you don't want to be inconvenienced by slower moving foot traffic, so you become a slow inconvenience to road traffic. Sidewalks are uneven **, interrupted by driveways, sometimes with cars in them, sometimes vanish completely, have pedestrians walking two abreast, people walking, badly trained dogs that attack runners and their owners don't know how to control them, loose dogs ditto. **, both my wife and I have face planted on one occasion each by an unmarked raised slab that was practically invisible in the available light. Lot of trees shifting sidewalk slabs here, and a very wet climate. You've never ran down my street. You would disappear in one of the potholes. I'm not a jogger, but I know a common problem in Canada in certain months is snow. The road can often be much clearer and more suitable for jogging than the sidewalk, which can often either be unplowed or icy. Sidewalks for regular walking. Not for fancy walking. I won't settle down. Asphalt is more elastic than concrete, it's significantly better for your joints over long distances. My spouse is a physio and says the benefits of asphalt vs concrete are so minimal it isn't worth the risk. She advocates for running on grass/dirt trails if you are concerned about your joints, and in general says it's better for you. Cracked/uneven sidewalks or things like cars jutting out of driveways occasionally blocking the way. And GT, things like cars jutting out of driveways. Better to just be in conflict with all the cars then. Or worse, people who are simply walking in the street when there is a sidewalk available. I've never been able to figure out why anyone would do that. Running is boring. I need the thrill of death. I use the sidewalk, but I'm sick to death of cars blocking half the driveways, sprinklers that soak me, people on bikes on the sidewalk that force me onto the grass, people that won't shorten their dog's leash which forces me onto the grass, etc. Also found this from an actual Dr. Author Jonathan Toker, PhD, presents the scientific evidence behind surface hardness, stating that the hardness difference between concrete and asphalt is insignificant when running in shoes, because the cushioning afforded by shoes far exceeds any cushioning provided by those surfaces. It's not a sit-or-run. Yeah, as a regular runner, it really comes down to the self-centered nature of street runners. I used to, on account of overgrown gardens, spider webs, spiders themselves and the occasional excitable and extremely stealthy dog. Mind you, I used to do it at night. And sometimes grossly uneven joints that are trip hazards, especially in the dark. I've also always wondered why people jog down streets with 6 lanes of rush hour traffic, when there are side roads with much less traffic and pollution to breathe in. The surface is much more consistent and I don't need to keep an eye on my feet to make sure I am not tripping over anything. Also, lots of trees overhang the footpath, on the road I don't need to dodge them nearly as often. Man, COVID and social distancing fucked everything up. Sometimes sidewalks are shitty, as others have mentioned, also the street is guaranteed to be there and be a more or less constant flat surface, whereas if you have to keep jogging up and down the little bankments for people's driveways it's kind of annoying. People don't shovel the sidewalks in front of their house. The street gets cleaned immediately. People use sidewalks as their personal parking/loading zones. I'm using the road as my personal sidewalk. Yup. It's so unfair. Block a street and people lose their minds. That's probably the only acceptable answer. Having to step off curbs constantly will fuck your shit up. Sidewalks can be very uneven. Streets, not so much. Streets are crowned, sidewalks aren't. I have one leg shorter than the other and a serious case of scoliosis. Being able to run with the pavement slightly sloped makes a huge difference. Sidewalks are cross-sloped as well. You don't want water ponding on your pavement. Source: me, civil engineer. Kids and other inattentive people, dogs, cars blocking the path, hidden corners, sidewalks that abruptly end, etc. If it's a safe sidewalk with an unobstructed view, I'll use it. If it's a low traffic road, like in suburban neighborhoods, I'll use that. I choose to not run where I'm mixing with traffic. Another vote for uneven and trip hazard filled footpaths. I run on the footpath in areas where they are well maintained, but in most areas it's just asking for a rolled ankle. That said, I will immediately move onto the footpath when a car is approaching, and I only run on roads with almost zero traffic. Repetition of stride. Don't have to vary constantly so you get into rhythm. Can look farther away, and that lifts the head, which straightens the neck, which helps you breathe. In a lot of places around me, sidewalks are short and just end in the middle of a yard. It's normally easier to just stay on the road. You know, I never considered my area to be the utopia of good sidewalks, but reading half these comments sure makes me appreciate their evenness and grade. Absolutely depends on where I am jogging, but the road is more of a consistent terrain. When I'm training for an actual running event where you run on the road, rather than concrete/dirt paths, it is good to train on the actual road. I personally am pretty aware of cars and will move off the road if necessary. I live in a pretty small town, so running on the road isn't too much of a hassle for other road users. It's definitely not a lane for e-bikes either. If it's in the evening on a quiet road, sometimes I jog or walk in the street because it's much better lit, and so I figure I'm less likely to get abducted/assaulted/mugged, etc. Footpaths can be uneven or poorly maintained, or too narrow when there are other users. I hate when people do that, but honestly, I understand why when I see how tore up the sidewalk is. It's inconvenient as a driver when they're on the road, but it would be even more inconvenient for them to use the sidewalk with 10 different elevations within 5 feet and trees growing out of them. Nice to see a driver understanding pedestrians' point of view. Thank you. Jogging in street, no problem. Walking. Use the F in sidewalk. I'm fast AF boy. If people without licenses weren't required to pay higher taxes and lose rights in order to build/maintain roads, maybe they would think of not using them. Sidewalks filled with kids and families walking abreast and blocking the entire thing. Sadly, cars are easier to avoid. They wish to be run over. Not a road run either. In my neighborhood, every driveway entrance is a dip/slope going to the street. It's a balance issue and, for me, a hazard. When I'm in the street, it's a consistent surface that's easier to navigate. Sidewalks are also more likely to have slight cracks/unevenness that can be easy to trip over. Streets obviously have cracks too, but not as many as sidewalks, and easier to spot and avoid. Roadways have far less tripping hazards. Sidewalks are regularly uneven or poorly maintained. Then there's issues like other people, dogs, overgrown vegetation. Like any place with potholes is going to have even worse or non-existent sidewalks. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1,000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again. Reddit glitch out.